Gunners. North London is home now.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
Harder! Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the meaning of chivalry. Rap ruler, you can ask Buddha.
Oh my
right
God.
jab like Sav Juga.
Oh, he's in.
Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a room, no room for intruder.
Yes, guys. Big up everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Much love to everyone being here today. Oh shit, I didn't mean to put that up. Yeah, guys, it's a somber one. It's a somber one. It looks like, according to news and rumours, Trent Alexander-Arnold has told Liverpool Football Club he wishes not to re-sign with his local team. He wishes to leave Liverpool Football Club, and yeah, it's got a bit
Trentiano Latino. That's what he wants.
and it's got a bit pear-shaped. Everyone's split. The Liverpool fan base is pretty much split in half. Who they're blaming, who they're not blaming, who's at fault. Is Trent a rat? Is he not a rat? Is FSG to blame? Is Slot to blame? Is Jamie Phillips to blame? There's a lot of people.
The last one.
Yeah, look, I'm to blame, definitely. There's a lot of things. So, guys, obviously, we're going to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold in this show today. There's going to be a debate. We're going to be talking about it. There's going to be things that people might not agree with. You guys and people in the chat might have a different opinion. And, guys, on this Trent situation, opinions are fine to have. If you absolutely adore Trent and love Trent and don't think he's done nothing wrong, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Why would I? If some people, me or anyone on the panel decides, fuck Trent, it's just the way it's the discussion we're going to have. So, yes, there's going to be feelings. He is the scarce guy in our club. He's meant to be the next Steven Gerrard, but he's leaving the football club. So, yeah, that's just not getting a world that that's not getting a world of people getting upset and angry with each other unless, they come for you on a personal level like some people did to me today. So hopefully that ain't the case. But yeah. Yeah. People I know as well, man. You know what I mean? But big up everyone in chat. make sure you hit that like button as well. We'll go have a good discussion here. We're going to talk about, and go to Mike first, because Mike's calm. We're just speaking to Mike. I was just speaking to Mike off air. And Mike, tell the world your feelings on this Trent situation right now, my friend.
Don't hold back, Mike.
Hey, listen, buddy. His name's not Trent Alexander-Arnold. His name is Trent Benedict-Arnold. And if you don't know who Benedict Arnold is, then Google it, because he's a British officer who betrayed my country during the Revolutionary War. He felt undervalued and underappreciated, and so he betrayed my country. Which is probably, what Trent is disillusioning himself to believe, that he's undervalued and underappreciated at this football club. But I mean, listen, for the last 3 months, every time the man's name has been brought up on whatever stream I'm talking about, I preface saying his name with the man with one foot in Madrid. If you've been expecting this for months, I don't see any reason to get angry or throw your toys out the pram, to be emotional. Everyone, the narrative the whole season has been, it's either going to be they all resign or Trent's going to leave and the other two resign. Now, we're not going to talk about Virgil. We're not going to talk about Mo. And, when it comes to who to blame, there is no answer. Your perspective is different from my perspective, and ultimately neither of us know anything. All I know is he was offered something by Liverpool he said no to, and he was offered something by Madrid and he said yes to. Now, everything else is semantics and it's conjecture, and we don't know the ins and outs of any of the situation. The only thing I can blame the club for is allowing his contract to run down, because that's the only fact that I know here. The only thing I know is that at the beginning of the season, he had 12 months left on his deal. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I know that was the fact, and that's a problem. You should never allow a star to get down to 12 months unless he's 35 years old and you know that he's leaving. Now, K-Mac brought up a good point. He cost us nothing. Therefore, he's leaving for nothing. So financially, this is a zero-sum game. But, to me, I don't understand why it's being announced now. That I can't wrap my head around that. I also, if you know on March 25th, 2025, then you knew on January 25th, 2025. There's nothing that has happened over the last 2 months that would have changed your mind. Therefore, when Real Madrid offered 20 million pounds, you should have just said yes. You should have just told the club, tell me. And listen, obviously, I can conjecture here. The reason why he would have said no to that was because if it was a 20 million pound sign-on fee, he wouldn't have gotten the 70 million pound signing bonus. And ultimately, that's like 70 million pounds is like 2.5 years of Erling Haaland's contract. Like, we're talking about 2 years of Erling Haaland playing for just to go to Madrid. Now that is greed. That is money. But I don't know. I'm very I'm not emotional when I think about players. These are just stocks in my mind. Like the soccer world is the financial market. It's the NASDAQ, and players are the stocks. And you can't become too emotionally attached to something. And ultimately, he's decided to go. It is what it is. I think it's a Benedict Arnold move because he should have just been sold. I think that he was hiding that he was going to sell. And I think that this will tarnish his legacy. I mean, I'm not ever going to view him as a club legend. I'll just view him as a really good player who won me a Champions League and then decided to leave at his prime to go to a different club. And it's just that simple. And, with his rhetoric and the saying I'm a Scouser and all this and all that.
This means more.
Listen, if he was from America and he was just like an American kid, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Or if he was from literally any other country or any other town on the face of the earth, I think our energy would be different. But because he's from Liverpool and because he pushed that narrative himself, and then he basically says fuck you to the club so that he can make 70 million, because that's what this is. That's the only reason why he would have done that. I think it's real Benedict Arnold. It's real scummy. But listen, Real Madrid next year, Champions League final. Trent's going to play a couple flashy passes. Then he's going to fall asleep at the back post, and they're going to lose a trophy. And then they'll sit here. They'll sit down at my table and they'll say, "I know how you feel. I know how you felt in 2021. I get it. I empathize with you, and let's break bread together in our hatred for this man." But yeah.
I hear that. You put that nicely, my man. You put that nicely. K-Mac, my man. Look, I know my man K-Mac.
I'm actually going to go the opposite way. Okay, I'm actually going to.
I need some vice versa. Let's go.
I'm actually going to side on Trent's side. Okay, just for a couple of things. Okay.
Oh shit! Am I in the multiverse?
Yeah, I know.
Am I in a
I know.
different place?
Yeah, it lasts for 5 minutes. Just let K-Mac.
Yeah, it won't last long. Look. He started the Real Madrid move. Yeah, the idea of moving to Real Madrid just when Jurgen Klopp was leaving. Okay, so they both kind of tie hand in hand. Like Jurgen was leaving, Trent had an opportunity where his 4-year contract, 4 years by the way, not 5. Ali, Virgil, everyone else signed 5. He signed 4 for a particular reason, so he could be 26 in his prime when he's up for a big renewal. And he's seen an opportunity, and his brother, his family, whoever, they've seen an opportunity, and the manager who's been there for 8 years is going to be leaving. He could slip out the door with him, basically. Yeah. You know, the team declines naturally because we're losing a legend, but they didn't work out that way. And he could have slipped out the back door and gone, oh, look, the team's not doing that well. Like, you know, it's time for me to really look at something that's a bit more ambitious, but just hasn't worked that way. And all of the media offensive and everything that was there lined up, all of those interviews that he's had over the months coming, we're all lining up. Oh, legacy, I want to win a Ballon d'Or, expecting Liverpool to drop off. Liverpool just carried on going, and it got to a stage where something's got to happen here. And obviously, Real Madrid had to put in a cheeky bid to make it look like, oh, well, Real Madrid are interested in me, you know, and that's the reason why. And it's never been like that. It's always been the fact that he was always going for a couple of years. Now, this is where I'm giving Trent some leeway, okay? The guy has been absolutely impeccable for us from the age of 18. Like, you don't get a guy that comes in at the age of 18 and performs like he has consistently, always available, so influential for year after year after year. And he signed that 4-year contract. He signed it. He was massive when he signed that 4-year contract, and he could have gone to another club then because his stock was so high when he signed that contract, but he did. And he's given us another 4 years, 2 years of greatness, 2 years of, but that's not really his fault. I'm blaming that on Pep Linders and Jurgen for letting him run riot in the midfield. But he's given us everything. He cost us nothing. He just walks out the door.
Now he's going to leave for nothing.
He just walks out the door.
Yeah.
Loads of other players have walked out the door. Like Bobby walked out the door. No one had a problem with that.
Bobby was done.
Bobby was ready to when he went.
That isn't comparable. Like I agree with what you're saying, but the issue that I have is that you're doing it for free. Like, if this were under any other circumstance, I wouldn't care. The only reason why I care is because
my God, if that's true,
is because it's for free. That's it. Like, if he were leaving for 20 million, I would be fine. If he were leaving for 10 million, I would be but I would be okay. Like, $0 to go to Real Madrid is the only reason why this is any sort of drama. Like, it doesn't matter where he goes. It matters the fact that you're losing a valuable asset for nothing.
Did all of the Chelsea fans hate Rudiger? Did all of the Chelsea fans hate Hazard?
No, but I think
I wouldn't dare compare
the Chelsea ownership issue. So
no, but
I think
that's what I mean. Like the guy didn't cost us a penny. I get it if we spent like 100 million on him or 50 million on him, and he's our like prized asset. But he's been on the decline for 2 years. He doesn't really fit a slot system. Let's be fair. He doesn't fit a slot system right now. He's been caught out a lot. Like, so, you know, He's
I
walking
don't
out
think
the
he
door.
fits. I don't think he fits Madrid's
We
system.
go and get another guy, or we try something else. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, genuinely fine with it. Like, it was always going to be a problem when Slot came in dealing with Trent. It was always going to be a big problem, and he's managed to deal with him with the inverted stuff. But the contract didn't happen. Like, that's it. The other two are more important for me. I'm sorry. Like, the other two.
Agreed. He's the least important of all of our players. But the whole starting 11, I think
He
he's
was
on
the
bottom.
youngest. So it's crazy.
Go on, Luke. Have your say, man.
But I'm sort of like Mike, really. Like, I sort of came to the realization that he was off the second he was crying at the end of the season. Like, you knew that he had one foot out the door, and I think the only thing that's made me annoyed is about how it sort of happened behind the scenes, and Trent probably thought that he could probably get away with it and then sort of leave out the back door, but sort of Madrid have sort of dropped him in it this international break by basically coming out saying that it's all complete. Now everyone's going to be up in arms. But to be honest, I'm not. Well, of course, I'm asked that he's going, but he's not the most important contract to sort out. Like, if Virgil and Salah sign and Liverpool have a really good transfer window and Liverpool do really well next season, people will forget about this. People are only upset now, but people might not be upset in about a year's time if we're going to win the league again. People just forget about Trent. And I think Trent, I got a hot take. I think he's going to struggle next season at Madrid. Could you imagine some of the performances that we've slated Trent doing against like United at home? Yeah, just do that at Real Madrid and see what happens. Because we're quite a forgiving fan base. Madrid aren't so forgiving.
Look at Bale. Look at Bale.
Yeah, like look at Bale. Like Bale didn't really, have a great relationship with the fans, and but it's just a bit of a shit show. And he has.
Sorry, I can see you all now. I had the wrong glasses on.
Oh, he has perfectly orchestrated this. I think Mark has said that he was wanting to leave end of 2023. How true that is, I don't know, because we know Mark is the Real Madrid propaganda machine. So I reckon he got told Klopp was leaving, and I reckon he told his brother, "Yeah, let's start engineering a move to Madrid because I'm done." And if he were crap this year, and Trent goes, "Well, I'm off," I think everyone would then crash it on the owners. If we were like not going to finish top four, the three best players leave, all the fans would be crashing it on the ownership. But the fact that we're winning the league, I think some people are like, if he goes, he goes. Like, I'm not that arsed. I've sort of come to the realization he's gone. I don't think he plays again this season. The second he got injured, I remember doing a separate show with Jamie and Callum, spoke in our group chat. I went, don't be surprised if he doesn't kick a ball for the rest of the season. And I definitely don't expect him to kick a ball for the rest of the season.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to be on the pitch.
Off the vice
Ronnie
captaincy
Cray
and get the other two contracts done before the end of the season, and get those two announced, and then Virgil and Salah captain, vice captain next season, and sort of let Trent. If Trent wants to leave out the back door, let him leave out the back door. Doesn't kick a ball till basically his Liverpool career is done. He's finitoed, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, here's my thing on it.
The weird thing about it, just one thing is, doesn't that feel a bit like Joel Matip, where he does a mad tackle, injures himself, and then leaves on a free at the end of the season?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what's happened to Trent.
The second he did this,
and didn't he do that tackle against Arsenal? Didn't he do that tackle in the game that we lost?
Against Villa, like when he did the Jude Bellingham thing, West Ham, right? The second he did that, I'm like, he's gone. Like the second that happened, I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly what Jude Bellingham did. It was to just placate to the fans. And the second Jude Bellingham did it, I'm like, he's leaving. That's the only reason why you would do that. Oh, talk, right? Just to try to get the PR to calm down. But I mean, like, this isn't about the player. Like, this isn't about Trent. This is about an asset leaving for free, in my mind. Like, regardless of what I think of him, I think that the team is better without him. I don't like the defensive liabilities. I don't think that the creativity is nearly on the level that it was 3 years ago. But like, from a business perspective, this is horrendous. You're an extremely valuable asset worth 80 million pounds is leaving for free. That's 80 million pounds that I could have used on someone else. I could have bought 2 fucking players for that money, but nope. My incompetence has allowed my asset to walk for free.
Mike, this is the new Madrid method. After spending all that money on Hazard, Jovic, getting their fingers burnt, this is the new Real Madrid method. 2 years left on the deal. We'll start tapping you up, run down your contract, pick you up on the free. It's the new Madrid method.
Guys, if you think Trent's the only one, Canate's next.
Yeah, there's plenty of players. I think
Canate's got that written all over him.
Onto this, the bigger clubs are going to cotton onto this, going, might as well just tap them up 2 years left, get them to come on the free, give them a fat signing on fee, say just giving the money to the club. So I think that's the way they're going to do the transfers now. I'm just a bit, we should have forced his hand in January. We should have forced his hand and accepted that bid and watched Trent squirm, because I don't think he wanted to leave in January. I think he wanted to get out in the summer.
I never believed that bid was real.
This is how I look at it. Yeah,
it was real, but I never believed that bid was going to happen. As in, okay, we'll accept it. Real Madrid would have just pulled it back out again and gone there.
No, I hear that.
I wasn't being rude.
No, I hear that. Here's how I see the Trent situation. He's acting like a cunt. Right? That's how he's acting. It's how he's acting. Also, it's how the club are acting as well. They're both acting like cunts. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, right? There's ways of doing things, and there's business. It all depends on obviously we could all be wrong. Someone else, I don't know. But if you look at the things that are going around at the moment, if you look at the things that are going around. And guys, by the way, as I said at the beginning of the video, we're all going to have different and varied opinions on Trent Alexander-Arnold because we're all Liverpool fans, and this is, take it, it's a big deal, this Trent situation. We're all going to think of it differently, yeah. So, I don't want anyone to do. If someone's got an opinion you don't agree with, don't come at them for it because it's their opinion. We're not going to come at you for your opinions, guys. Okay, everyone's allowed one. And we just leave it at that. I know it's a situation that's quite emotional. I get it, but you're all allowed your opinions. But we're not going to come at yours. Don't come at ours, sort of thing. Let's just let's keep it respectful.
Be careful, Victor. Be careful.
Hold on, K-Mac, because he misspelt it. He did C with an S. Come on.
No,
if you're going to do it, spell it right. If you're going to do it, spell
it's not a Victor either in the chat. I'm just putting it out there as just a blanket statement, so no one gets to. Thingied with it. Look, the situation is he's leaving on a free transfer, which he's leaving. I don't mind a player leaving our football club. I really don't. Right? If they want to leave our football club to go somewhere else, fine. If Trent wants to leave to go for Real Madrid, fine. But there's ways of leaving. Yeah, there's ways of doing things. There's ways of doing business and looking after and being respectful and blah, 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 blah. The fact that we've had players at our football club that are nowhere near the quality of Trent and loved like Trent have left more respectively than Trent Alexander-Arnold's got to leave our football club is a bit of a dagger in the heart for me personally, on my point of view. If it's true that he decided that he wanted to leave 2 years ago and he never informed Liverpool Football Club of that, and he waited till he was a free, and he was speaking to Real Madrid all that time. If that's true, that's awful. That is awful, because if he decided he wanted to leave Liverpool 2 years ago, we could have sold him. We could have sold him. Liverpool wouldn't have stood in his way. If he came to Liverpool and went, look, I want to leave this football club. I just want to move on my career. I feel like I want to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona or something like that. I'm thinking more about my own legacy now. The club wouldn't have stood in his way, and they would have tried to get the best deal for him and the best deal for the football club. That's fair, yeah. But I don't obviously know if this is true. Obviously, none of us do till we hear from Trent on his press conference when he joins Real Madrid. He'll probably tell us then. But the way he's going about it, the way it looks at the moment, it just looks a bit dirty. I can understand why people are upset about it. Again, I'm not standing in his way. If Trent wants to go, he can go. If anyone wants to leave our football club, they can go. I just like to just do it, a nicer way. it just looks like he's leaving through the back door because he just don't want to take no criticism.
He does. He's not done a single interview this year.
When has Trent ever faced the limelight? When has Trent ever been the guy to own up? I'm sorry, he just hasn't been. He's never been that guy.
More because he is he's the vice captain. I think the only time he's actually spoken this season was for LFC TV after Southampton at home. Was the only time he's actually spoken to anyone.
He's not.
That's where people got excited about that. And by the way, I'm not
got excited thinking, oh, could he be staying if he's now doing?
That's even more annoying. That's even more annoying.
By the way, I'm not coming at the football club, guys. So, you know, I'm doing one thing at a time. We'll get to the football club and the owners as well, guys. So don't think I'm just keeping this one-dimensional here. It's just the way it looks like it's happened. His brother's his agent. Brothers being agents are not always the best thing for players. I think Nicholas Anelka said after
a long time
he said he didn't really want his brother being his agent. You know, it doesn't always work well for you. His brother's getting what he wanted. His brother wants the bag, and that's what his brother's going to get. He's going to get the bag for Trent going to Real Madrid. And again, if Trent wants to play for Real Madrid, I'm not going to sit here and curse him for playing for Real Madrid. You know what I'm saying? But it's just ways of doing it. It's just way. Look, Steven Gerrard, he will never be Steven Gerrard in any Liverpool fans' eyes because Steven Gerrard turned down Real Madrid twice. We know this for fact because Steven Gerrard spoke about it and Jose Mourinho spoke about it. He turned Real Madrid down twice. Zinedine Zidane wanted Steven Gerrard at Real Madrid when Zidane was still a player. He asked the board at Real Madrid to buy Steven Gerrard. Gerrard turned him down. Mourinho, when he was manager of Real Madrid, wanted Steven Gerrard.
And Chelsea.
And he turned them down. And Chelsea. And he turned them all down because look at him on the charity game on the weekend. Look how much it still means to him to wear that red shirt. It means everything to that man. It means everything to that man.
Listen,
he could have played in the final and done a better job than our midfield.
In my eyes,
got a short-term play contract.
The moment that Trent begins August 2025 in the Madrid white, Divock Origi has a bigger legacy at this football club than
big up Divock, man.
Because Divock scored the winning goal against Barcelona, and Divock scored Divock scored the goal to help. To secure in short the Champions League final. He has a bigger legacy, and also he didn't stab me in the back. And ultimately, like what Jamie's going on about the way in which you do things. That's what matters the most because that speaks to your character. And the only logical reason why any footballer would want to leave on a free is because the signing on fee is now a signing bonus, right? So the money that the club gets now goes to me. And what does that mean? If it's actually 70 million pounds, that means that his brother, let's just say it's using
not going to be 70 million pounds.
Even if it's 40 million, right? If his brother is his agent and he's using a standard agent fee of, let's just say pessimistically 10%, that means his brother makes 4 million pounds or 7 million pounds or somewhere in between, which then means that Trent gets 36 to 40 million pounds, which is basically 2 full seasons of Erling Haaland playing for Manchester City, just in one lump sum in his lap, just to go to Madrid. That money doesn't go to Liverpool. Again, that's Liverpool's fault. It's not entirely his fault, but at the same time, it's just like if you're going to peddle this argument of I'm Scouse and it means more.
Mike, it's not Liverpool's fault. It's not Liverpool's fault. And that's the thing that winds me up the most. Like he's made it because of the way he's played this. He's made the fans side with him and say it's Liverpool's fault and we're not showing ambition and our owners are this and our. Like, seriously? Like, what the hell do you do when a player wants to wind his contract down and he's got Real Madrid as the club that wants him?
We offered him $325 a week. Like
we offered him $320.
if
And even I
that
felt
is
uncomfortable us
true,
offering him that.
I mean, first of all, I'm pretty sure I sat on Husam's show like 6 months ago, and I asked everyone on the panel. I said, "Would you pay him $300,000 a week?"
I think
And I
I
don't think,
remember watching
and I don't think anyone said yes, but we all wanted to keep him, but we wouldn't pay him that much money, right?
I've got to drop off. Okay, I'm just having my tea. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay.
Yeah, all right, man. See you in a minute.
Now that we, supposedly offered him 25 million more than that, that's batshit insane. Like, that just tells you that we did everything we could. There's nothing to be done. So, like, I don't understand the hindsight blame of Liverpool. Like, we all know that we have our issues with FSG. If you want to make this into an ambition conversation and do ambition of Madrid versus ambition of Liverpool, that's semantics. That's conjecture. And also,
that's what is what ifism.
Yeah. Like you're rationalizing something after the fact. Like, clearly Real Madrid are more ambitious than any club in the world because they have Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius and Rodrigo and Bellingham and Valverde and Modric, and they had Ronaldo and they had Bale. Like, this isn't new news. So I just, like, there's a lot of cope going on. There's a lot of blame being thrown. Like, blame Trent for what you blame Trent for, and blame the club for what you blame the club for. But I don't think I don't think that this is one and the same. Like, the player wanted to leave, the club tried to keep him. The player has clearly known about this for some time. Now the player gets all the money. Like, when in doubt, follow the money. That's the simple rule in life.
And according to David Ornstein, so I read this earlier, they will have given Trent contract offers in the last 2 years. So if the rumours are true that Trent knew he wanted to leave 2 years ago, and Liverpool has spoken to Trent for the last 2 years, and he didn't want to sign a deal, look, if that's true, Liverpool should have sold him. If he kept playing down transfers, playing down contracts, then Liverpool should have sold him. Like, Liverpool should have if we remember 2 years ago, look at the shit shape we were in behind the scenes. We couldn't buy or sell, coffee, let alone footballers at that time properly and do the job properly. We was a mess, and FSG's to blame for that. The club was a mess 2 years ago. The club is trying to get itself back on the right pedestal now, but the problem is now you got your best players leaving the football club for nothing, and this is a major issue. So yes, as I keep saying, if Trent wants to leave for Real Madrid, leave for Real Madrid. I understand it. Again, my whole thing is just the way you leave. You're not always remembered by when you come in. It's like when you leave. Klopp said it himself, yeah? You're remembered more when you leave than when you do when you come. Like, how we go remember Trent when he leaves? It's not go. A lot of Liverpool fans go remember him with fond memories. A lot of Liverpool fans are not. And for someone of Trent's caliber and status at our football club, that's quite sad if you think about it. Because he's not going to be up there with the Steven Gerrards amongst the most of Liverpool fans. He's just not. He's not going to be amongst there with Mo Salah, who's not even a Scouser. He weren't born in this city. He weren't playing for Liverpool since he was 6 years of age, and that's all he ever wanted to do. But Mo Salah's going to be thought of more at the end of his career than Trent Alexander-Arnold. So again, it's the way you leave, and that's my issue with everything right now.
First off, Andrew, right? I do rate Steven Gerrard. Mo Salah is the player that I essentially grew up watching, per se, not Steven Gerrard. But regardless of that, I think that, kind of like the opposite of what you were saying before, if we were garbage this season and we had taken a step back, I would actually be more okay with Trent leaving. I would say, you know what? Like, this club doesn't deserve you. Go, leave, go to a better institution filled with more ambition. But because we're top of the league by 12 points, 15 points, whatever it is, because it looks like we're going to win the Premier League, because we're moving on an upward trajectory, that's why I feel it's even worse. Like, if we were going down, it would make sense. Jump ship, you're too good for us. But because we're going up, it doesn't make any sense. It just comes down to the fact, like, what are the only logical reasons that you would go to Real Madrid? Don't blow smoke up my ass and tell me that you want a Ballon d'Or. A right back is never winning a Ballon d'Or. It's not going to happen.
Close to
It will never. No, it will never happen ever. No defender will win that trophy ever. It has now become MVP of the Champions League. And did you do decent in your league? Yes. Boom. There you go. So the only reasons why he would go would be silverware. Sure. Right. We can sit here and we can act like football players want to fill their trophy cabinets and, trophies mean more and this means more. And I'm just here to win medals. But ultimately, it comes down to money. Like literally the way that I view this, it's just about the money. The trophies are, the added bonus. Oh, I get to build a legacy, but you're about to make 40 to 70 million pounds into your pocket just to go there. An amount of money that Liverpool would, what would that take us? 3-4 years to give him in total. And Lord knows what we win in that time, but you get that before you even step foot on the pitch. Like, it's not a slight on him as a human, right? Trent sure is a fantastic human being, but it's just the way in which he went about it, the way in which the club went about it, and the fact that everyone's trying to blow smoke up our ass and tell us that the sky is green.
It's going to be PR between Liverpool and
it's
Spain.
Money. It's money. It's that, like, that's it. It's like, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to money and trophies. You could win trophies here, but I'm not going to give you 70 million pounds to start. But I could also win trophies there and get 70 million pounds to start. Now, will he win trophies there? Probably. Will he be the reason that they win trophies? I don't think so. No one has had success after leaving this club since 2014 when Luis Suarez did it.
Coutinho had some success, but he just wasn't, he never...
He lost us the league. He lost us the league today. So, I wouldn't exactly say. And also, he started in that game against us when they got knocked out 4-0. He was on the pitch. He was in that starting 11. So I wouldn't exactly call his success over there success. And then where is he playing now?
I mean, I mean success. I mean trophies. Like, he did win the treble with Bayern, and ironically scored against Barcelona.
Was he the reason? And Philip Coutinho's legacy now at this club is, that was a great player who we ended up just funding, to get better players for. And how often does Felipe Coutinho come up in conversation other than he funded Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, and he funded a Champions League?
Didn't really technically fund Van Dijk because we should have done everything.
Before we go off too much, so Red Devil Studio says you guys are gassing out, but watch Liverpool regress. Next season, the squad is not good enough at present. So if the squad's not good enough at present, how comes we'll go win the league?
Would we be in second place?
It's a mad comment, man.
No. Just like to the panel.
Mad comment.
Would our league position be 12 points worse if Trent was not in the squad?
Yeah.
Be closer.
Sorry about big up, man. Glad you're here, man.
Thank you.
I'll let him answer this because obviously, if everyone, Born and Red, hopefully everyone knows Sarab is a great guy. Obviously, his own channel as well. Make sure you subscribe to it. Any mods as well in the chat. Everyone's channels, if you could link them in the live chat, I'd appreciate it. And mods as well. Please got everyone to hit the like button. You know what we're doing around here.
Thank you for the invite.
My man. No worries, my man. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So we've always had saying it. As I said to everyone in the chat when we started this show, everyone's going to be emotional about this. It's a player that means a lot to us, especially being a Scouser through and through, been at the club since he was 6 years old. And everyone's going to think of this differently, yeah? I'm going to think of it differently. You guys are going to think of it differently. People in the chat, people going to blame him, blame the ownership. There's going to be different points of views here, and I don't disagree with any views, by the way. Everyone's got their entitled. So what's your take on this whole situation, my man?
Look, I'm a Liverpool fan, and I'm a fan that tries to understand both sides, even if I agree with one side and I disagree with the other side, because I think what you might think is true might not actually be true, and what you don't think is true might actually be true. So you have to understand both sides of the spectrum. Now, of course, for the many Liverpool fans, I'm sure you three as well, and many in the chat are also thinking it would have been great for him to stay. But I think the issue I have is not that he's going to Real Madrid. This is my personal opinion. I don't have an issue with him going to Real Madrid because it's Real Madrid. We know the players they can attract. We know the size of the club. And that's not a knock to Liverpool. We also are a massive club. But look, they've won 15 European Cups. They're the current holders of the Champions League. They look probably set to win it this season. I can understand for the purpose of his career why he wants to go there. But in hindsight, I can also understand why Liverpool fans are annoyed at him, because he's a Scouser, and when you're a Scouser, it's a privilege to play for Liverpool. Why would you ever want to leave? It's every Scouser's dream to play for this football club. Why would you want to go somewhere else? Secondly, I think another big factor as to why Liverpool fans are very, very annoyed at him is that he's going on a free transfer. And I think that's very, very important to highlight, that we've seen many, many players leave this football club that are not Scousers, Coutinho, Suarez, Alonso, that have given us some sort of a fee and given us some sort of money to work with. Like Coutinho is the perfect example. He signed a 4 or 5 year contract before he left. He then left in the January of 2018. He gave us 140 million that we then spent on Virgil van Dijk and Alisson, reinvested into the squad. And it's why where we are, one of the reasons why we are where we are today. Trent is going on a free transfer. That is a £100 million player going on a free transfer that we could have invested into the team somewhere else. Because realistically, I'm already hearing excuses online of some Liverpool accounts coming out saying, oh, it's going to affect transfer strategy, Van Dijk and Salah extend. No mention of Trent. So we're just talking about 2 players there. You add Trent into that, where are we going to spend our money? But look, for me, the most important thing for us is that he's leaving, and finally that's been set in stone. I don't agree with how it's gone about, and maybe for Trent, he's thinking, I've always said I'm not going to let my contract situation be played out in public, and he did come out and say this. But when it comes out in public, you then have to go and speak on it. Even if it's not come from you, you then have to come and clarify the situation, whether you're staying, whether you're going. But then he probably thinks, I'm not the one that put it out there, so I'm not going to be the one to then speak on it because it's all speculation. But when it comes out in the media and it's stressing Liverpool fans out, and him being a Scouser himself, a Liverpool fan that he claims to be, he then has to give clarity on the situation. And finally, we've got clarity, and it's not even come from him. I think that's why Liverpool fans are very, very frustrated. I'm frustrated. I can understand for footballing reasons why he's leaving. But in hindsight, I wish that he probably left in the summer, because I'd probably been more accepting if we got some money for him.
I hear you. This is John Cena. That is Trent Alexander-Arnold right now. If anyone knows, they know, yeah.
It's the worst kept secret in football. I have to say, it is the worst kept secret in football that Trent was off to Madrid. It's the worst.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was
like Mbappe to Madrid. We knew that Mbappe was going to Madrid. So when it happened, people weren't shocked. So I'm not shocked that he's gone. I'm just a bit annoyed about how it's
the way it's gone up bad.
And he'll probably get his wish, because I don't think he'll play again for the rest of the season. I think that injury probably came at a perfect.
You're muted, Mike.
Him, so he can now slide out the back door.
We've been played like a fiddle, and that's what angers me the most. Like, we have been wined and dined, lipstick on, and thrown out the back. Like, it's disgusting, because to me, if you were someone to care about the club, right? If you're going to use that and say that it means more. Right, the club means more. I'm just a regular boy from Liverpool. Then you would want to do what aligns with your and their interests to the best of your ability, right? And what I see here, based on action, is that you have aligned things to the best of your interests, with total disregard for the interests of the club. That's the only thing that makes me angry. Yeah. Like, people know my opinion of him on the pitch. I don't rate him as one of the top right backs in the world. I think that he has his pros. I think that he has his cons. I don't think that Connor Bradley's the answer, but I also don't think that Trent is the solution. But regardless of all of that, if you're gonna go with one thing and you're gonna play a narrative, and then at the last second your actions will do the opposite of that narrative, I have to sit here and I have to call you a hypocrite, because ultimately you're getting that money, not the club. The club is getting nothing. You could have figured this out in the summer. You could have figured this out in January. £10 million is better than zero. £5 million is better than zero. Literally any amount of money on the face of the earth is better than zero.
But Mike,
then again,
just on that point, yeah. I think, this is my opinion, I think Liverpool looked at it in a way where Trent probably told them that he wants to leave, but obviously, because when you're at a place for so long, maybe they thought they could convince him to stay. But then you mentioned the point about the 5 million or 10 million. I think losing Trent on a free is probably a better situation than getting 5 million for him. Because what does 5 million do for Liverpool? I'd rather get a season of Trent than lose him
And win the league.
and
rather
then
than-
lose him in 2024.
Well, I know I'm talking January. When I said 5 or 10, like I'm like when we heard all those rumors, just get it out the door. Because I again, like I don't like this coming out in March. I don't like this news dropping March 25th,
It's not like
2025
the league's like
with
fully
9
wrapped
games
up.
to go.
Look,
Like,
to be fair, this January we even rejected a bid for Darwin Núñez, man.
I know.
It looked like we
I
weren't
don't
going
want us to dive into FSG.
I mean,
because
that's that pisses me off more than not selling Trent in January, to be honest. But you know that just shows we weren't willing to let anyone go this January because we want to get the title over the line, and you just need all your players to get through that. So I can understand where they thought is 20 million really worth letting Trent go, even if we know we're going. If you know, if you can use him and get over the league title. So I can understand the situation why we never sold him in January, or Darwin Núñez for that matter. So as I said, though, look, I'm not against people leaving my football club. You know, I'm not against them. I'm not against people leaving whenever they want to go. We've had better players than Trent leave our football club. We've carried on. We know this, yeah. I just don't like the way players leave our football club. You know, I didn't like the way Luis Suarez left our football club because he made it impossible for him to stay because he just went on a cannibalistic thing in the World Cup and just, you know, you can't keep the guy. You know, racism and all this sort of stuff. You can't keep the guy. So even though he's a quality player, it's just the way you leave. I just don't like it at the moment because it seems like he's just going through the back door. And I know he said that his contract won't be played out on social media and in public. It's the most played out contract I've ever seen in my life.
In the history of contracts, it's the most played out contract on social media.
Since the beginning of the season, the Trent thing has been the thing I have not stopped hearing. So all the reports from Madrid and Spain, by the way, were right from August. They were correct.
Yeah.
Everything we heard from Marco that we all said was bullshit and all that.
Yeah,
they've been correct this whole time. Yeah, they've been correct this whole time. Fabrizio at the beginning of the season was correct, even though we like to come from
March last year when he put
it was right. It's been there. So it's just the way, again, it's just the way you leave. And the fact, look, if rumours are true, as I said earlier, he knew 2 years ago he wanted to leave, but didn't tell the club and all
would you
this
put
stuff.
any blame on the club at all? Because
if the club didn't, if the club have offered, so the rumours going around at the moment by Paul Joyce and co, that Liverpool offered Trent Alexander-Arnold the highest wage of English footballer ever in the Premier League, which it would have to be over Jack Grealish's 300 grand a week, I believe. So
no, Sterling's on 325 at Chelsea, so it would have been more than that.
So it'd be more than that. There you go. So it would have been around the 325, 330 mark. Yeah,
not worth that.
Which, by the way, that figure came out months ago that Liverpool offered him that around the October-November time. That offer, we all did shows about it. I'm sure B&R did shows about it and stuff like that. That figure was around what was spoken about then, and it's come out again now. So there might be some truth to it, you know. And you know, we don't know what the sign-on fee is, though. Obviously, for Madrid, if he's getting this apparent 75 million sign-on fee and 220 grand a week, it equates to like 500 grand a week, right? If it equates to 500 grand a week, but Liverpool were offering him 320, 330 a week, there would have been also a sign-on fee with that. It won't be 75 million, it might be 10, 20 million. That equates to around over 400 grand a week. It's not a lot of difference yet. It's not like, oh shit, you know, that is so much more. You know, it's still a very good wage and makes him one of the highest paid players ever in English football. So it's just a bit damning for me. I just don't know where to stand on this whole thing. You know, everyone's calling him a rat. You know, Scrubby's more real. People are so split on this. I think Scousers might be thinking differently than we are, because for a Scouse boy, there's no love. There's no bigger club than Liverpool Football Club, if you're a Scouser, especially. There's nothing bigger. That's why Stevie's a legend, because there's nothing bigger. He turned down everything. Matt Letizia at Southampton, he could have gone to any club he bloody wanted to, yeah? He stayed at Southampton because it's the club that he absolutely loves and adores, and he felt like playing for anyone else would be, he couldn't do it. When Alan Shearer got the chance to go back to Newcastle after leaving as a youth and then going to Southampton and Blackburn in his early years, but getting the chance to go back to Newcastle, he never left. He never left. He didn't win anything at Newcastle. He could have gone anywhere he wanted to. His best striker in the country. He never left because of the love. Yeah. And that's where I think Liverpool fans are breaking down a little bit. They're like, but he's our Alan Shearer. He's our Matt Letizia sort of thing. You know, he's our Steven Gerrard. You know, this is his club. He's been in since he was 6. He's a Scouser. West Derby, you know, a 5-minute walk to the old training centre, the old training ground in Melwood. You know, he's our boy. And he's leaving on a free to Real Madrid. And people just feel dirty by it, don't they, guys? So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's the sense of the atmosphere at the moment, ain't it? I don't know how you guys feel. Anyone can.
Shall I go? Okay, so
yeah, anyone can.
I think what's interesting is our fan base with players that come from our academy. Like, there seems to be this real like they have a right, like because they came from our academy, like they have to stay at Liverpool. Like, nobody has to stay anywhere. Like they can choose where they want to go. Like, that's the whole point in being a player and having a contract. And they've only got a short career. Like, for me, Raheem Sterling made a very good decision. Like, as much as everybody calls him a snake, he wasn't going to win anything at Liverpool at the time. Like, and he was being absolutely rinsed by Brendan Rodgers as a 17-year-old kid. And we made 50 million quid off him. Like, it's the money which is the issue. It's the fact that we had a chance to sell him, we didn't, and he never came out and said, "I'm going." He still hasn't said it, by the way. It's come out from the media that he's going, but it's the fact that it doesn't look like he was ever staying. But the fact that he didn't say he was just makes you go, well, he's kind of, the club could have sold him a couple of years ago if he said he was going. We could have made money off him. It could have been an easier thing.
That's the only reason why people are angry, K-Mac.
Yeah, it's the money thing. I'm not really that bothered now, to be honest. I kind of shrugged it off like a year ago because I kind of thought he was going to go then. But when it all came out, but hey.
Again, and I agree. Again, I don't begrudge Trent leaving. You know, I don't begrudge any player leaving. For me, it's just the way you do things. You know, as I said, his contract has been the most talked about thing since August till now. It's been the most public contract. You know, Trent has never come out once and said, like, you know, these rumours are bull. Don't worry about them. I'm going Liverpool. I'm still with Liverpool. I only think about Liverpool. Blah blah. Any kind of bullshit you want to say, yeah. Like, you could put anything out there, just blur the lines a little bit. The fact, it's like it's just because he's leaving. The way it's dealt with, the way he's doing it, it just stinks. And I think what people are pissed off as well is that he's vice captain. This is the major issue. Yeah, this is the major issue. But Luke, I'll go to you first. What do we do with Trent now till the end of the season? Considering all this is true, and he has told Liverpool that he actually does want to leave, which I believe is the rumour right now. He's literally told Liverpool itself now, I'm not going to sign a new deal. I want to leave. We've got 9 games left of the Premier League season. What do you do, Luke?
Well, he's injured until middle of April, according to reports.
Is he injured?
I don't expect him to kick a ball. I don't expect him to kick a ball for the rest of the season. I think he's not going to play, and if he plays, it'll be at the very last game of the season, so he can get his clap off with the fans. And if he thinks he's going to get a good reaction, he's got another thing coming. But I don't think he plays again for the rest of the season. I think he's done.
Mike?
Yeah, no. Just no to everything. I think that let him stay injured. Let him recover. We now need to move into pragmatic mode. We need to
Get
look at
Bradley
the
fit.
shopping list. Well, not even Bradley fit. We need to look at the shopping list of right backs. Number 2, we need to play Kwanzaa there because we know he's going to be at the club next season. Let's just say we have another right back situation. Kwanzaa, we need more hours of you in that position. Let's give Endo a run at that position. Let's just see if he's capable of doing it. If he's going to be at the club next season, he needs to be able to get there. We need to do whatever we can to set ourselves up for next season. It's a blessing that we have such a wide lead, and it's, I would say 5 points of that 12-point lead. I could say that Trent is a reason why, but also at the same time, I could probably say that about 9 points that I lost this season are because of Trent. So it's a zero-sum game there. I don't think that he's needed to finish out this Premier League title. I also wouldn't play him on the final game of the season, whether or not he's fit. And personally, you could look at me as being petty. I don't really care. Actions speak louder than words in all scenarios in my mind. I wouldn't do any sort of send-off thing. I would just say, Trent, it was very nice to have you here. You can be on the pitch. You can walk around. You can clap. We ain't doing what we did for Bobby for you. We ain't doing what we did for Matip for you. We're not presenting you one of those giant plaques with all the trophies and shit. No, you're not getting any of that because of the manner in which you decided to exit this. And the club know more than me. So, if we did do some big send off, then I would sit here and I would be saying, okay, well, the club has known about this all along and they let it happen. So it is what it is. Fuck them.
Can I just say something on that?
No one deserves shit. No one
Can I just say something on that? That crap has ended when Klopp's left. I'm sorry. That crap has ended. All that cheering stuff and photographs and all that bollocks. Sorry. We're here to win trophies. We're here to win trophies. We're not here to make friends. That shit ended when Klopp left. I'm telling you. Trent's getting nothing. He's not getting one of those plaques and a fanfare and he's not getting any of that. I'm sorry. The team get the guard of honor and they get to walk around the pitch. He'll probably be part of it or hobble or whatever on crutches or whatever, and that'll be it. And he can come onto he hasn't got a baby or family, has he? So he can't do that. Maybe he can hold. Maybe he can hold Jude Bellingham.
Hang on, shadow play.
He can cradle Jude Bellingham in the middle of the pitch.
This comment is the kind of the favoritism and the gaslighting that people do to back players that they like. I experience.
I don't think Snow plays a Liverpool fan. He's a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah. Regardless, you're still gaslighting. I was in the gaslighting dimension with Darwin Núñez, right? I was a Darwin sexual, and then I finally came to the light and I understood how to actually analyze a player. Trent has cost us against United. That's a draw. He cost us against Fulham. That's a draw. He did help us against Newcastle. That was a draw. So boom, I can take one away. But I'm sure if I really dissected and analyzed every single game this season, the sum would be that he cost us more than he actually benefited us. So I'm enough of this gaslighting. Oh, but he can pass the ball, so he's the best right back in the world.
Yeah.
No,
hang on. I wanted to just get Sarah's interpretation on this as well because, my man. So what do you feel? Because it is going to be hard for Trent to play because I do think there's going to be a very mixed reaction to Trent at Anfield at games. No doubt about it. We're seeing it everywhere right now. He's still a player for Liverpool Football Club that, has ability in a game to win us a game of football. There's no doubt about that. But this has become a little bit of a headache for Arne Slot, ain't it? Because he has got a title to go and win. Yeah, we've got a 12-point gap. We know anything can happen in football. We know that. How does Arne go about this? Because this is a difficult situation for him. I don't think we've spoke about this enough. He is the manager. He's brand new this season. He's now got to deal with this situation. Press conference on Tuesday before the Everton game. They're not going to talk about Everton whatsoever.
No.
So this is going to be thrown at him. How does he go about this? What does he do here?
Look, I think what helps Arne Slot and Liverpool this season, first and foremost, is the points gap that they have between first and second. I think that is a massive factor as to why it's not as big of a problem as it might have been. Because I think if we were in a run-in and we are 3 points ahead of Arsenal and City are also chasing us, you put Trent back in. You put Trent Alexander-Arnold back in, no matter the situation, because I believe he would. Look, you can say, I know what Mike was saying against Man United, against Fulham, he was a bit lackadaisical. That's fine. He's always had games like this. You look at Trent over the years, and I had to understand this myself. He's always had games where he's kind of miscommunication. He looks a bit off it. He does this. Lazy is a lazy term to use, but I think there's games where I watch him and I'm thinking like, he doesn't look at it today, but there's games I watch him and I think, wow, this guy's the best thing since sliced bread. But I think if we were going for a proper title race between City and Arsenal, he plays because, like Mike said, I'm sure all of you are in agreement as well, he can win you a game. Trent Alexander has the ability to win you a game, and I don't think there's many right backs in the world that can do that. And when you are in a position where you have City and Arsenal chasing you, you play your best players. It's very, very simple, because I think he is a professional, and we saw Philippe Coutinho as well. He wanted to leave the football club, and he still gave us the best 6 months I've ever seen play at Liverpool between September to, not even 6 months, 4 months that he gave us between September and December. Trent will do the same because he's a Liverpool player. He's under contract and he's going to do his job to the best of his ability, especially because I'm sure if Trent wants to go to Madrid to win, why would he then sabotage Liverpool when he's got a Premier League title there to win as well? He's a winner. He wants to win. He's not going to go and start playing rubbish because, he wants to leave the football club. It's utter nonsense. I think we can get away with it now because we have a 12, 13 point lead ahead of Arsenal. We can play. You can throw me at right back. I think we'd still win the title now. But
he's going to be back till the middle of April. That's when Liverpool could possibly win the Premier League.
I don't think he plays, Luke. I don't think he plays again this season, personally. I really don't see it. But
it's going to be difficult, ain't it? It's going to be difficult. Look, if we go on, the worst game I've ever seen Trent play for Liverpool, personally, was that Man United game. That was the day, a couple of days after the Real Madrid transfer request, right? When Real Madrid put in the transfer approach, that was the worst. After that, a couple of days later, that is the worst game I've ever seen Trent play. The fans after the game were not very kind to him. If you remember hearing all that, I think Asim put a recording up, didn't he, of because he was there, or fans around the tunnel just literally going at the guy. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying on Arnold Stott. He's got, he has got a player there, and you say it might not be much of an issue because of the points difference this season. So I hear it, but he's still got a player there that he's got to look after, ain't he? Trent is still his player, playing or not. He's got to look after him as well at the same time and make sure, he's protected. So, yes, Trent's getting his move. He's getting what he wants, and I don't blame him for it. I blame the owners as well. I'll get to them later, but I feel for Arne Slot. I really do. He's got this situation. It's difficult for him, K-Mac, ain't it? It really is, because Klopp. If it was Klopp could work his magic. We know Jurgen. He's been there long enough. He could do things. But this is Klopp's first season.
He finds if Klopp's still here. Or do you
that's what Asim, I think, just put something on Twitter a while ago, and saying
he's still
that's
going.
wild, by the way, that's wild if that's true.
At the end of the season, he obviously clapped the fans.
Yeah,
but it looked like a goodbye. It almost, if you actually go back and watch it, it does look like a goodbye. And yes, he was emotional when Klopp left, but he looked like he was too over emotional, and he looked like he was saying, because he went on his own to the Kop. All on his own. It looked like a goodbye.
If he was going to leave Liverpool in the summer, why would then Liverpool then try and negotiate a contract with him? Why are we still talking about his contract situation?
Because he played him.
I personally think.
Told the club I'm going on a free, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Either that, or the Jurgen Klopp factor is a big factor to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, well, he
made him who he is. He's a father figure to Trent. Trent, all he knows as a Liverpool player, coming through the youth system, and Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah,
Jurgen Klopp picked him out of the youth system.
And
he went there. One of his first things that Klopp did is that he went and saw Trent and saw how special he was as a kid. Kept his eye on him, and then brought him through when he needed to bring him through, and looked after him that whole time. Made him vice captain. I think there was a special relationship between the two players, and because that's all he knew. And knowing the way, look, the players are not stupid. They know how the club is run as much as we knew how the club was run. He probably didn't feel like the right man was going to come in. And remember that conversation he had with Eze when he spoke about it on
Yeah.
ITV about in England camp when he said,
Yeah.
"I don't know if I'm ever going to win anything ever again."
Well,
It was a
was he
weird
wrong or not?
conversation, and that was in the summer going to the Euros. So, did he think he was leaving then? Do you think Trent had it in his mind that this might be it, and I'm off?
So I said this before, that like it looks like everything's been pre-planned, like even those interviews, and I think all of that was supposed to dumb down the fact that Liverpool aren't going in the right direction. We're not going to challenge. Oh, Real Madrid have come in with a bid, ambition, and then slides out the door that way. I think that was the whole scenario that was laid out. And let's be honest, most of our fans didn't think we were going to win the league this season. Like they thought we were going to be in a transition and maybe fourth or third. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I think Slott's dealt with it really well. I really do. Like I said to you on your show a while ago, before Slot had come in, if he can do three things well, we've got a really good chance of winning the league and challenging, and maybe, you know, continuing on in the way Klopp was in the previous years. And that was mitigate the injuries by 20% and make sure our big players are available more often, which they weren't under Klopp, which he's done. Get more shots on target from better positions in the centre of goal, which we've done by spades in this year. And we've doubled like what Arsenal had done. So we've done that. And the other one was get rid of that inverted crap. And Trent was the main part of it, which he's done. And look where we are. And I'll be completely honest, I don't think Trent and Slot seen eye to eye, like, for a long time. Like, genuine. Do you remember when he got dragged off? Do you remember when he was huffing and puffing? You know, there was a number of things that happened that we were all like, "Oh,
that's how I remember it."
Be a problem this year.
I just saw that picture.
When Trent said, like, when Slot first wanted to speak to him, he thought, "Ah, shit, he's going to just slag me off."
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And Slot dealt with it really well. And you also have to remember, Trent's got an ego, man. He's got an ego. Like,
that's the Scouser in our team. That's the Scouser in our team.
When he was getting in a tussle in the Merseyside derby,
I said
where was
this.
our vice captain?
I said this in the
Where was Trent
Merseyside
in the middle
derby.
of that?
When Curtis went to them Everton players, went, "You're not doing that in front of my fans, thank you very much." And Curtis went to throw down. Yeah, Trent weren't nowhere to be seen. He weren't nowhere to... Like, I said that when it happened, to be fair, but yeah, there's that. Give Curtis
Real
advice.
Scouser in our team.
Was that last season where I know we lost to Everton? I don't know if that was this season. No, we didn't.
Yeah, it was this season.
This season
Two weeks back, wasn't it?
Last year.
game.
I don't know if you don't remember when he was on the bench. I don't know if you got subbed and he just went.
he was horrendous in that
I don't know if
game.
that's because we lost or he got subbed, but
That was earlier. That was earlier this season when Slot subbed him, and he's not. He's never really
I
subbed
think
him.
so.
Last season
I
against Everton away,
Last season.
he
Yeah,
was horrendous in that game.
Absolute shite.
I don't know if
Horrendous.
that was because he got subbed, but the way it looks now is like, oh, he just looked annoyed that he got taken off. But I do give credit to Slot. This season, he's not been afraid to make bold decisions. And I said this in the summer. It's because this is not his. None of these are his players. He has no loyalty to these players. He's not signed any of these players, so he doesn't need to please anybody.
I think when we're speaking to Callum and Jamie, is like people that have like this obsession with player FC backing the player over the club. They're going to be in for a rude awakening over the next year to 18 months.
Absolutely.
Slot's probably going to get rid of your favourite player because he just doesn't rate him. And unfortunately,
no doubt.
Trent's the high profile one on the chopping block where he's decided to leave. Probably Slot may be like, "Yeah, well, you can go. Like, I'm not asked if you go because I'll get someone else." Don't want it to be Frimpong, by the way, but that's a different.
We'll get to that in a bit. We'll get that to a bit.
It's been
Just to if we're gonna touch on Slot real quick, what I will say is that I hope that he is emotionless and ruthless as he's been all season. I hope that he's a robot because Trent is not his player and he doesn't owe Trent anything.
Yeah.
And also, you know, at the beginning of this season, we all sat here and we all said we didn't buy any players. So this is either going to be the dumbest summer in the history of all history and all of sports of all time, or it's going to be genius. It's turned out to be genius. Now we're sitting here 8 months later, and Trent is now leaving. Given the precedent that Arne Slot and the current sporting director, Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, have presented, I'm about to win a Premier League title. Trent's leaving. Based on that precedent, I have to at least, side on this idea that we will be better for it, because we're miles better for not buying anyone in the summer, not buying anyone in January. Now we just kind of have to trust them and be like, all right, do it again. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I don't
If
Virgil and Salah say no one cares about that. No one gives a shit.
The thing is though, Virgil and Salah stay, it's going to look even worse on Trent. It's going to even look worse. I tweeted this earlier.
Now announced them both.
Yeah, you think that's why they waited?
So there was rumours. I think there's been rumours all season that the club feel like Trent and Virgil will stay, but they didn't want to sign. They didn't want to say anything while Trent was still at the club because they didn't want everyone to come at Trent. I mean, that's basically backfired now. It's like, but and then as soon as this news broke today about Trent, Paul Joyce then broke another bit of news saying like Liverpool have more hope now than that Virgil and Salah would sign new deals. So it's like they didn't even wait. They waited.
We have more money to give them, by the way, guys. Now we can take Trent's contract, split it in two, and put it on top of.
There is some good news, though, guys. There is some good news, though. I don't know if you heard the good news today, but Luis Diaz is leaving. That's the good news, right? Sorry, everyone knows. If no one knows, I don't like Diaz. Let's read some stupid, then we're going to move on. Big Up Andrew says 5 of our first 11 can leave for nothing next year. Yes, well, the year after, ain't it? The year after that.
The year after.
Let's see what happens. Sign up or they get sold. I think it won't be freebies.
You really bother with Robbo and Jaros.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not got 2 years left. It's either sign up or get sold.
Exactly. Replace our defensive right back and a creative number 10. Big up, Jam, for me. No. And Ali A says, big up, 1 second, man. Big up, Jamie and the guys. These lot are a bunch of rats, his brother and him.
Sorry, that's a bunch of rats.
No. This is planned from from their side from time we offered more wages. Big up, Ali. Go, Sarah. Go, man. What do you say?
If you just touching on Slot lastly, I know we kind of moved past. I think this is important to highlight. I don't know what you lot think about this as well.
Ooh, Slotterbeck. Can you bring that up? Sorry, Russell Stubley.
Go on, carry on. I'll look for it.
Slotterbeck.
If you look at Arne Slot final, I don't know how familiar you are with his final side, but he played with at times 2 inverted fullbacks. Now, if you look at Liverpool before Arne Slot came in, they would play Trent inverted. Now, if you look at the system Liverpool have deployed this season, it's only really when Liverpool are under the cosh or losing battles in midfield, like Brighton at home, where he moves Trent into the midfield positions. Other than that, Liverpool have played with a right back that's very conventional. Now, to me, does that signify that we've moved away from the inverted system that was to accommodate Trent? Were we setting up for life after Trent? Because Conor Bradley is not that type of fullback, and you're kind of getting everybody used to that system. I don't know, but I had this conversation with my friend, and he said it looks very, very likely. Because how do you then go from probably the best inverted fullback in the world in Europe to then just playing him conventionally, and his influence on the team is not as high as it would be?
It's a shout.
I don't know.
It's a shout because I even Slot. I think. Was it on TNT Sport when they mentioned about the inverted thing and Slot not
hilarious, mate?
And Trent not doing it anymore. And Slot basically said, he basically said, look, I've got midfielders that can do that job. I don't need Trent to do it.
Better than him.
The thing with Slot, he had his system at Feyenoord, which I agree with. Yeah, he had his system at Feyenoord, but the problem is he's come to Liverpool and he's got far better footballers.
Yeah,
right. He's got far better footballers. And when you got these players, sometimes you have to go away sometimes from what you did at other clubs because the ability of the players you've got. He didn't need to invert Trent because he looked at it and went, I've got Graham Birch, McAllister, Bosley in these positions. I don't need Trent inverting. I'd rather keep him in the wide space so he's more free when he receives the ball to do what he does. And when's Trent at his best for us? In the wide space.
Yeah,
You know, closing Trent down in a central area limited his game. You want him in wide spaces, you know, getting hold of the ball and doing what he does better than most people in world football. That's where you want him, and that's what Slot tried to do this year. I don't think it's on Slot the way. I just don't think Trent's played that well this year for a whole season. I think he's played well in games here and there. And you know, you see his creativity in games is far above a lot of what we got in our squad. But he hasn't done it enough for me from August to now, like he has in previous years when he's been an up and down right winger. You know, and Slot don't want to play that way. So, as you say, Conor Bradley's at the football club. I think Slot likes Conor Bradley because he's given him games. You look at some of the young players that haven't been given games or been loaned out. Conor Bradley weren't. Conor Bradley's been given game time, and when he plays, he's looked very good. You know, he trusted him against Real Madrid. You know, if he was fit, Conor Bradley'd be playing right back as soon as Trent got injured. You know, he wouldn't be playing Kronza and all that right back. You know, he'll be playing him there. Slot also looks like the type of manager as well who tries to keep players in their position more than, you know, he looks like he profiles players. I'm not saying Klopp didn't profile players very well, but I think Slot is one thing I will say about it. He looks like he can profile a player and where they should play.
Very
you know, you look at Grav. Grav plays deep. Yeah, he plays in an anchoring DM position. Yeah, I don't think Slot would see Grav as that kind of player. Hence why he never played there. He let McAllister play the solo six. You know, Klopp. Played the solo six. So. And that's not just the Klopp. Every manager and coach have got their different things about them. Yeah. So he's seen Trent as that up and down right back, and maybe that's what he's looking for again, and why we've been linked with Frimpong, because Frimpong can get in them wide spaces in the vert. So maybe that's why he's looking at him, guys.
I also want to mention another thing as well about Trent, which people have kind of maybe not noticed, is he's become injury prone. Like, he picks up 2 or 3 injuries a season now. Like, and that could be a combination of the fact that he was just flogged by Klopp for like 8 years, like just relentless. Like, nobody got ahead of him. Like, do you remember Nico Williams? Like, really, really good player. Like, probably one of the best fullbacks in the league this season.
Yeah,
he played 6 games for Liverpool. Like, he could not get past Trent. Like, Trent was just, when he was in his prime, it was him and Robbo forever. Like, so maybe he's got a lot. Maybe the legs have gone on him as well now because he's starting to pick up a lot of injuries. But my only concern with Bradley, he gets a lot of muscle injuries, which is a worry. So I do think we are gonna pay some money for a right back, and I hope it's Jules Koundé.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I've got one more super chat, and then I want to get on to say else about the Trent situation. I just want to firstly say this. So there's been a video today of a Liverpool fan burning.
Was like right back. Sorry.
There's been a video today of a Liverpool fan burning the Trent shirt. On film. Yeah. Now that for me is taking things just too far. It's in a very aggressive manner as well. You don't need to do that sort of stuff. You can say publicly, I'm not happy with the way Trent's done it. He's not got my support anymore. That's fine. Leave it as that. People respect your opinion. Burning a shirt on video for views, it's just aggressive and not called for. It's for me, it's out of order. Okay, I'm just going to put my opinion there. Big Jared as well with the super. He says, I'm not going to begrudge Trent's move. I agree. What is unpalatable is the way he's done it. I agree. But I don't trust FSG to fix things in the summer. Most of us couldn't agree with you there. FSG, to already lay the groundwork to lower expectations. I hear you. My expectations don't lower. We retain our title next season. That's my expectation.
Unfortunately, Arnie Slot's expectations don't lower. They don't.
No, hopefully not.
The guy wants to win.
My man here says, quality man management from this apparently genius we love to call Slot. Now one of your best players is off the Madrid. Good one, Slot.
I don't know how it's his fault.
I don't know how it's not his fault.
I don't know how it's his fault. He literally came into the club.
He's going to win the league in his first season.
He also doesn't sort out contracts.
Yeah, it's going to win the league in his first season. If that's the thing, and this brings me this brings me to this situation that I've been hearing all day a day, and that is, what's the word I'm looking for here? What's the word everyone's been saying? What's that word everyone's been saying today, K-Mac, on all the shows?
20 titles?
No. The reason Trent's leaving.
Ambition.
Ambition.
There you go. I'm
Ambition.
so old, it just went out of that ear. Ambition. This is a funny word, you know. It's a funny word because what does ambition actually mean? What does ambition actually mean in football? Because does it mean spending lots of money? Does it mean spending lots of money? Does it mean winning things? What does ambition mean to people? And let me know in the chat, guys, what ambition means to you guys, because I think this is a nice conversation to have. Again, it's a very subjective conversation because it can mean different things to other people, yeah? So if I look at what people are saying about...
How is Jamie doing that without moving his lips?
That's crazy.
Have I frozen?
It's crazy.
Have I frozen? Can you hear me?
You have. Keep talking.
We can hear you.
Hang on. I'll be back. Oh, hey, there's Tiago.
Really?
I'm still frozen.
Still frozen.
Still frozen. Still
Yeah,
frozen.
still frozen.
I'll become Tiago for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, who else have I got? I can't be Tiago.
Damn, you dropped. What's ambition to you guys?
He'll be back.
There you go.
Wait,
What
wait.
the?
You're still Tiago, mate. What does ambition mean to everyone there? What does it mean?
We're not very good, are we? Jamie goes and we all go quiet.
He's pulling a
the
real
ambition-
John Cena now.
The
He's pulling
ambition
a real
thing
John
What's
Cena.
ambition?
winds me up because, like, everybody's like, oh, FSG have got no ambition. Well, they've got no ambition because, like, they don't spend millions and millions and millions and millions of their own money. Like, they just ran the club sustainable, and the money comes in, the money goes out.
Yeah.
And look, we have been a player short here and there. I get it. Like, I do get that. Yeah. But what we've done is we've won loads of trophies and we've been competing in loads of trophies. And these owners have given us Jurgen Klopp, who's won stuff and been involved in loads of stuff. So I think that's ambition for me.
So look, what I was going to say about ambition before my camera decided not to work anymore is that I know a lot of people think ambition is transfers as well, and spending money. So if I look at ambition, let's look at Chelsea. How much have Chelsea spent, Sarah, in the last 2 years?
Oh, mate, and more than enough.
More than enough.
More than
When was
1.5 billion.
When was the last time Chelsea finished above Liverpool?
The year they won
when
the title, 2016-17 under Conte.
7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
How much money do you think they spent more than Liverpool in that 7 years?
Oh, a lot more than money.
A billion more, at least.
About $1 billion more, at least.
We're not defining ambition properly.
I'm just getting. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting. Like, this is what I'm saying. What's ambition? Apart from in the last 7 years, in the last 6 years, apart from Man City, who's the only other team to win the Premier League?
Us.
Liverpool.
And it could be twice, yeah.
Yeah.
Different managers as well. Two new, just not Jurgen. We won a Champions League. We won domestic trophies as well in all that time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So ambition can be looked at different ways. For me, ambition is about winning things. Yeah, it's about winning things. It's about building a good squad and going on to be successful. It also means getting the right people in charge as well.
I agree.
Getting the right manager. Chelsea have got a terrible manager. I know Chelsea fans don't like the way it is, but your manager's shit, right? You got the wrong man in charge. Chelsea fans will tell you they have a better squad than Liverpool. They will continue telling you this, right? We have a better squad than you. Most of our players get in your squad. But how comes you never finish above us in the Premier League in 7 years? And you've had all these quality managers. Does that mean? Yeah, does that mean your ambition is better, or is Liverpool's ambition better than Chelsea's? For me, in the last 6 years, the only Premier League team that's had better ambition than Liverpool is Manchester City. In my opinion, right? In my opinion, because you've got to employ the right people as well. Now, here's the other thing. FSG, do they themselves as a unit, as a people, as the people that own and run our football club, do they show ambition to win the league every single year for Liverpool? My answer there would be no, because if they did, they would probably put more of their own money out of their pocket into the football club to get the players we want. So I think the ambition thing is slightly marred. I don't know if anyone else agrees with it, because it's a weird saying that slightly, because in the 90s and early 2000s, the Premier League, Liverpool spent shitloads of money. People just forget about this time.
Most of it went to Southampton.
Yeah, but in the mid-90s, Liverpool spent a lot of money. Liverpool broke records. Liverpool broke the record for a centre defender in Britain with Phil Babb.
Oh yeah.
Liverpool broke the
money
Liverpool
doesn't
broke the
equal
British
ambition,
record.
Jamie.
We broke the
No,
record
but
with
what I'm
Andy
saying,
Carroll.
Liverpool broke the record for Stan Collymore as a striker and didn't win fuck all. So that's what I'm saying. What does everyone see as an ambition as a football club in these days? Go on, mate.
I got to hop off, so I'm going to make this super quick.
Yeah, go for it.
But the issue that I have with the conversation when people bring this up is because it's cheap, right? It's like a surface level buzzword. You know how Arsenal fans love to harp on the media and like they list all the different words that they have for being connected to someone in the transfer market, like monitoring, keeping track of their, fantasized by this player, right? Like we use that, but we just say ambition. FSG ambition is simple. They bought the club for X amount of money. It's now worth like 300,000 times that amount of money. That's ambition. In any other industry in the world, you would look at FSG and you would say, I want to be like them when I grow up, because they buy something low and then they bring it to levels that no one else could have possibly seen. And now they can sell it high and they're the wiser. The issue between FSG and us is that our definition of ambition more co-aligns with that of Manchester City, like you just said, Jamie, where money's great, but Sheikh Mansour wants trophies. And no matter what we do, we get Sheikh Mansour trophies, right? FSG are, I want money, and if I get trophies, that's great. But like at the end of the day, I'm a business and I'm here for the dough, right? Yeah. So to me, the reason why I don't like FSG is just because my definition of ambition falls more aligned with Manchester City. But that also doesn't mean that they're not going to win trophies. It's just the priority, the prioritization is different. And then people use a cheap word like ambition to basically say you don't want to win anything. It's like, no, we just operate on different frequencies, and you want to operate on their frequency, which is there is in Manchester City. And that's fine, because I do too. And, being the 7th richest club in the world, like you should be able to put more money in. This is why the Red Sox don't like FSG as their owners. This is why the Celtics were like, don't you ever fucking let FSG buy my basketball team, because they will put us into the ground and it's just about money. I.e. also, that guy turned the Celtics from 200 million into 6 billion, just like FSG turned, Liverpool into what they are today. But, ambition's just a cheap word to throw at the wall and basically say you don't want to win. It's not that they don't want to win. It's just winning's not the number one priority. Exactly. Real Madrid winning, number one. Manchester City winning, number one. Liverpool winning, number two, right? Chelsea have made themselves believe that winning is number one, but it's not number one, because money doesn't equal winning. Because if money equaled winning, City would have a quad every single year over year. That's just not the way that football operates. Real Madrid would have a quad every year, right? It would be Real Madrid versus Manchester City Champions League final every year for the last 15 years if money equaled success, if money equaled ambition. It's just the priorities are different. That's why I don't like them. I want someone who will be the 7th richest club in the world and act like it. I mean, Arsenal spend more than we do. Spurs, I
hear that. The Arsenal thing, I hear, yeah.
Exactly.
Who's won more in 5 years, Arsenal or Liverpool?
But again, this is why it's
this is why ambitions are weird. It's how you see ambition, ain't it? It's that's what I think. I don't know about you, Sarah. How do you see ambition?
But Jamie,
big up, Mike.
We only started winning trophies, and I think people fail to understand. We only started winning trophies is when we started to spend money. The year that we bought Fabinho, Van Dijk came in January. Those 2 summers between 17 and 18 is then the season after that. Liverpool went and won the Champions League. Sometimes when it's not all about money, I understand
No,
that it's about putting the money in the
how
right
you
place.
spend it.
Like, exactly. So for this, let me give you an example about this season. We all know Liverpool need a striker in the summer. We all know Liverpool need a striker. Nunez is out the door. Jota can't string 5 games together, and we haven't got anyone else to play there. Everybody knows there's been talk about Isak, there's been talk about Alvarez, but they're going to cost 100 million. But realistically, are we going to end up with those players? Probably not, because our ownership don't run that way. They don't run in a way where they're going to pay 100 million out of their. They're going to pay 100 million. We can do it, by the way, but they're going to look like we've got 120 million. We can't then spend 100 million on one player, leave us with 20 million. Who's going to sign for 20 million? Nobody. They want the club to like run itself rather than them put money into the club. So whatever the club makes, back into the club, and I can accept that. But a club the size of Liverpool, the priority always, which it is, the difference is the ownership that we have. They're all about making money rather than Liverpool winning trophies. I think that's what fans are frustrated with, and I can accept that. It's a well-run model, but it's only a well-run model is when you're building up to winning trophies. When you're there, you then have to take your checkbook out and to stay there, because you're going to fall back down again. And we saw it the year we finished it. That summer.
You know what? I agree, Sarah. I agree with Sarah. Everything you're saying, I agree with. And the thing with money's always been in football.
Yeah, of course.
It's just that the valuations are different in generations. That's all it is. Money's always been in football. Here's the mad thing, yeah? And this, obviously, the internet weren't even around then. But if you can imagine the internet was around and social media was around at this time, what was it, 1988? Ian Rush, our best striker, our number 1 guy, leaves to go to Juventus. We were replacing with a guy from Oxford United.
John Aldridge.
Yeah, so we let Ian Rush go in 1988 or 87, whatever it is, I can't quite remember. He went to Juventus, and instead of buying the next superstar around Europe, that Liverpool could have been, because Liverpool won the top teams, if not the best team in the world at the time. They replaced him with a guy from Oxford United. Could you imagine social media at the time if that was the case?
Hey,
Ian Rush goes to Juventus, the biggest club in Italy, and we went and replaced him from the guy from Oxford.
Jamie.
Now the game has changed.
Jamie. Liam Delap.
Now Liam Delap,
he's been on to this guy.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, ambition. But at the time, Liverpool could have gone. Liverpool were rich. Don't forget that. In the 80s, Liverpool spent more money than a lot of teams. Right, they were. That's why we had quality players. That's why we had Peter Beardsley and John Barnes and Steve McMahon and all these quality footballers at that time, because we could outspend everyone else. Liverpool could have gone around Europe and got a quality footballer in. There's no doubt about it. Yes, we're banned from Europe at the time, but we still could have gone and got him if we wanted to, because we're a big old Liverpool football club. But we went to Oxford United and got John Aldridge, who went on and scored over 100 goals. That's why I always find the ambition thing. Why is Trent leaving? Because of ambition. We're about to win the league title. That would be his second league title.
We just lost the cup final. We got to a cup final.
Does Trent see ambition? Does he say, all right, fine, Liverpool go win a title? But is Trent looking at the future, guys? Is that what he's looking at? Is he going, you know what, I might win a title, but I might not win anything. I might not win another title for 10 years because I know these owners, guys. What do you reckon?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Real Madrid.
No, you're all good, Sarah. You're all good.
What kind of doubts that we won't win the league every year? It's not like he's guaranteed to win the league every year at Madrid. Of course, he's going to have a better chance at Madrid of winning the league, but there's no guarantee that he's going to go to Madrid and he's going to win the league every season, or going to win the Champions League every season. But he'll probably have a better chance at Madrid than he would here. Which is the issue. And for me, ambition, just touch on what I think ambition is. Ambition is not spending the most money, because we've seen it with multiple other clubs. It's not about how much you spend, it's about how you spent it. And my biggest issue was when we were buying all the good players, my big thing was let's see what we do when we need to go and get rid of them. And then it goes, this player goes for free, this player goes for free, this player goes for free, this player goes for free. And with some of them, in hindsight, they've worked out well. Emre Can not really kicked on since he's left. Gino Wijnaldum not really kicked on. I do think COVID sort of messed that up because I do think when we won the league, Mane was out that door.
Out that door.
So I think that's messed up. But I just don't think we've been very good at selling players to regenerate the money to go and get more players. I think that's where the ambition has lacked. Or when we've needed players, like when we need the centre half, you got Kabak and some guy that never kicked the ball.
And Davis.
Now Birmingham. So,
and you know what's really interesting? That was when Edwards left. All of that happened. And guess who's back?
Yeah.
And I want to
Plus,
say one
plus
thing
you
about
see
the
the
ambition
sport
thing.
director
I want to
and
say one
manager.
thing about the ambition thing is I don't think it's ambition with FSG. I think it's just targets. I think it's just targets. They just got to hit the targets. Remember, we had this conversation about
Hit the bullseye
Liverpool
every
missed
single
the quota because we were at the Champions League.
Yeah.
And it was all in the plan, how much we were going to make, and where the money was, and the money that was going to get allocated for players. And then we missed the Champions League, so we were 100 million short here. I think that's all of that is in the plan for how Liverpool carry on going for whenever more years. And if you look at the fact that we just dropped Nike, we dropped Nike because they weren't giving us enough money off shirts and merchandise. So it's all about targets and value. And we talk about owners taking money out of clubs, just like the Glazers, 100 million every year at the club's dividends. FSG don't take any money out of the club. What FSG want is they just want their asset to get more valuable over the time because their shares cost more money for them to buy, for people to buy, which is where they make money on the stock market.
So
and eventually they will sell the asset. Eventually they will sell the asset.
I can see that. I mean, they tried to, if you remember, just before the World Cup, or David Wilson about that. An article out about that. So maybe, I agree with you 100%.
Eventually our owners are going to sell the club when they feel there's another project that they might want to use that money for, because they're not football fans. They're not fans of Liverpool. They're fans of making money and having assets. And also our club is owned by a number of people, not just owned by one guy. I know John W. Henry owns 51%, but then there's about 14 other people that own other parts of the club. And what I will say about the whole money thing and the transfer thing is we rebuilt our club under Klopp in 2 seasons, 4 transfer windows, 2 seasons into what it is now, pretty much. The players that are that everyone's panicking about leaving on free transfers, who are the best centre back in the world and the best right winger in the world. People may say we had the best right back in the world in Trent. Yeah, they came in those 2 years. Obviously Trent came through the youth team, but your Virgils and your Mo's and your Ali's and your Mane's, they all came in those 2 years. Yeah. And we managed to turn ourselves into a league winning, Champions League winning, competing in finals every year in those two seasons. We can do it again. And we had a massive turnover in players in those 2 years. You have to look at all the players that went out and came in. We can do it again. If we get another 5 this window, another 5 the next window, that's that's pretty much the team done. And it can be done. We've done it before, and it was with Edwards.
Go on, guys. Go on.
You can add because I spoke quite a bit, so you can.
Go. Whoever wants to go. Yeah.
I'm just listening.
You said we rebuilt a club 5 years ago between those 2 transfer windows, but for me, if you look at the figures that we pay for some of these players, so you look, Salah cost, let's say 40 million. Mane cost the same. Van Dijk and Alisson were transfers based by the sale of Coutinho. Keita was out of the club. Fabinho was 35 million. These are not a lot. Barring Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool don't really spend big money on big transfers. They spend 40 million on 3-4 players. But I believe nowadays it's impossible to do that. You're going to go to, Bournemouth, for example. I think, look, let's take Semenyo, because I think Semenyo is a great example. If we were to sign Semenyo 5 years ago, that would have cost Liverpool 35 million. That's now going to cost Liverpool 60 million in a space of 5 years, because I think Sadio Mane at Southampton, Semenyo at Bournemouth, clubs playing at a similar level in the league, very raw players at the time, can go on to bigger and better things. I think football is not like that anymore. We're talking about players like Declan Rice going for 100 million, which probably 5 years ago would go for 60 million. Caicedo, 110 million, he would have gone for the same amount of money 5 years ago. I think football's changed. So you have to kind of spend money to win now, because you're not going to be able to compete with the clubs that are going to be throwing 100 million. Newcastle are throwing ridiculous amounts of money.
The old
Bruno,
40 million pound signings now, like 80 million.
Exactly.
40 million is now 80.
40 million is now 80 million. That's what I'm saying. But that looks like it's such a massive sum of money, but it's the same value. If you get what I'm trying to say, Nunez would not have cost 85 million 5 years ago. It would have cost 40 million, but now he costs 85 million, and we're probably going to make that money back in him, 70 million, which is
Please, Saudi, please. I beg.
Look, I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't take so long to flip a club in half. It doesn't take very, very long to go from A.
And ironically, what was that final? Didn't he overhaul that whole squad in about
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we ended up going for him, because he's a manager that builds with not a large checkbook, but builds with these sort of unknown players and makes them superstars, which Klopp was a masterful at. But I believe we didn't really go and compete until we spent the big money on Van Dijk and Alisson, which is when Liverpool went and won the Champions League. I think we need that again, in my opinion. I agree with what you said, though. It's great points, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's just mad. Big up my man Dean in the chat as well. Like you do well, man. You're doing well. I'm
not optimistic, but I'm holding judgment until after the right.
Do we think Salah and Virgil will go?
No.
Don't know.
I don't know, but I think that they will stay. I just announce it before the end of the season, because now we know Trent's off. Just get this sign still delivered.
I think if they were going to go, we'd heard by now, in my opinion.
I think I saw something today that I think people in Saudi are sort of giving up on signing Salah, because he's basically given them the.
He wants to stay. Yeah,
he's not going. Like, he wants to stay at Liverpool or stay in Europe.
I mean, it's a dream, innit? You got Virgil captain, you got Mo Salah vice captain. Give them 2-year contracts,
and then go out and try and find their replacements.
Yeah,
and then let them go. Like, when those two, like, if they sign for 2 years and they go on the free, which I think they will. Like, for me personally, like, if I'm sorting out their contract and give them 2 + 1, but the club control the +1. Yeah. Let's say Salah falls off a cliff next season. Saudi's going to be there.
Ready.
Yeah, Salah's going to be there. Okay, it's not going to be like the 100 million that we were offered a couple of years ago, but we'll still get a decent chunk of change.
Salah was there for Ronaldo when he was 37, sorry.
Yeah.
The thing about it as well, I just wanted to say as well that like I know we're losing Trent, yeah, but we've got a world-class spine like in that team, and if you're ever going to continue winning things, you have a world-class spine, and then you can just put the bits on the side. That's how it's always worked. Even Liverpool through the 80s and the 90s, they had a world-class spine and the bits on the ends. You can mix and match. Like, it's the way it's always been. You got world-class goal. You got best goalie in the world, Ali, best defender in the world, Virgil, potentially one of the best defenders in the world next to him in Canate. Then you got a world-class midfielder in McAllister. You got potentially a world-class number 10 in Dominic Szoboszlai, and then you got a world-class striker in Salah. I mean, if you add Isak onto that, you've got completely through the park. Yeah. And then all you got to do is add your wingers on and your left back and your right backs.
It's a big if, though. Big if.
Seriously, what Slot wants is Slot wants 15 really good players that he can interchange when he wants, and they're always fit. That's what he wants. Like, he doesn't need anything else. Like, he's proven it this season that he doesn't want to play player number 16, 17, 18, or 19. They're just on the bench, just as a stopgap.
Do you know, I've always said about Salah, and I'll keep saying this. We know there's been a team in for Trent all season, you know, and then Real Madrid played their hand in January. So We all know that means Trent has been speaking to Real Madrid since at least January. So there's conversations between Trent and his party and Real Madrid. They can't make a transfer unless they spoke to the player or his representation. That gave the go ahead. So we know they've been talking, yeah. And now with him apparently coming out today and telling Liverpool that he's not going to sign a new contract and he wishes to leave, they've been speaking. As far as I'm concerned, Salah and Virgil ain't spoken to no one. Now you're always going to get rumours, but the rumours seem to be all crap rumours. PSG this, no real contention there. Obviously, the French journalist come out, Julien Laurent came out and said the other day that, this PSG thing's bullshit, there's nothing in it whatsoever. And he's very close to PSG, so he'd know. The Salah stuff, he's the best right winger in world football, apart from obviously the kid at Barcelona. You're telling me, why has there been no contact like Madrid is with Trent that's so conclusive? There's been nothing, because that tells me their agents are telling them at this moment in time, hold off, because they're just talking to Liverpool. They want to stay at this football club. They don't literally want to go anywhere at the moment. And they're just waiting for Liverpool to do something there. But if they don't, get back on the phone, we'll sort something out. That's why I'm quite convinced more that Salah and Virgil will stay. With Trent now going, it's going to free up wages. £200,000 going to be freed up. You can split it any way you want. Saudi pretty much coming out now and saying, look, we don't believe Salah wants to join us just yet. Yeah. PSG are going down a different market at the moment. I think Mo Salah's too old. They're going down that younger market. They're learning their lessons. They don't want big egos in the team and stuff like that. Real Madrid have just got too much talent going up front right now. Yeah, they got too much talent going forward at the moment anyway. It doesn't leave a lot of options. I don't think Italian clubs can afford Salah's wage. So, I think Liverpool have played a thing with Salah and Virgil where they feel like they can trust them to wait as long as they need to wait and then to get it sorted. I don't know about you, Sarah. What do you recommend?
It's weird because normally when you're in a situation where a player's contract is going to expire in the next 6 months, you're on panic mode. But Liverpool looks so relaxed with the situation. And like you said, Jamie, that signifies to me that Salah and Virgil, and they have come out. Salah's done it numerous times. Virgil has done the same. Arne Slot has come out in press conference, said the same thing. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I want to be working with Virgil van Dijk next season. I don't know if he said it about Mo Salah, but I know Salah's come out publicly himself saying, I want to stay in the club. I think it's different because, like I said before, when you're in a situation where players' contracts are expiring in the next 6 months, they can speak to other clubs.
Just panic stations.
You kind of worry, but Liverpool looks so relaxed, and that signifies to me that Van Dijk and Salah are not speaking to anyone else. They're giving Liverpool full priority.
Do you think that's because we're top of the league? Because I think if we were languaging in 5th, 6th, not going to get top 4, I reckon this would be much more of an issue. But I think it's because we're top of the league, about to win the league. I think that's why at some points this season, the media sort of left Slot alone in press conferences when it's come to contracts. I guarantee you, first press conference he's doing before that Everton game, you know what the subject of conversation is. So Trent.
I can't wait to hear his one-liner, mate. I can't wait to hear his one-liner for that.
No progress.
I can't wait for it.
See, I've been saying this as well all season.
Financial,
I've been saying this all season. It's the most FSG thing. It's the most FSG thing to do, man. It really is. I just want to play a video.
Didn't Mo sign his 350k contract during the holidays?
Yeah, summer.
Yeah. He was in Greece or whatever it was, wasn't he? He was in Greece.
Yeah, he was on holiday.
Maybe Mo wants to. Maybe Mo only wants to sign contracts when he's in his shorts.
Oh yeah, Jamie, I watched this earlier.
Right, I'm going to play this. Yeah, right. I'm going to play this. Right. This is quite a mad. When you look at it now, this video is actually mad because it does make Trent look very selfish. I ain't gonna lie. Let me just make sure the volume's on. Right, let me know. Oh fuck it, I don't care. Let me know.
No, it'll get taken down, mate. The video will get taken down seriously.
I don't care. I don't care.
Sound.
Right.
So
you've got sound. You've got sound.
Cool, wicked. Look, I got this off Twitter, so if they want to go at me, I'd just say I got it off Twitter, and if it's fair fucking use. Right. Yeah.
that you probably want to achieve all of them in your career, but it's the thing that you'd most like to achieve?
I just want that legacy of being probably the greatest right back to ever play football, if I'm honest. I know that there's been many out there, but you know, I've got to reach for the stars. And I would want to be Liverpool captain, but it's not my decision, so that can't really be in there.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
Fuck
Win a
off.
World Cup with England, that would change the game. Win a Ballon d'Or. I'd say win a Ballon d'Or.
Really?
You are an absolute tube.
Win a Ballon d'Or. I didn't play it too long,
fucking
so it should be
mental.
all right. Win a Ballon d'Or. Win a Ballon d'Or over. Firstly, over Liverpool winning everything as part of the team, being captain for Liverpool because he was sick for 5 minutes. He even said he would love to win the World Cup of England as a Scouse boy. Ain't that a bit? You know, when you see
this
this
I
out,
want to be Liverpool captain. At least say win another Champions League. Come on, like.
yeah, but the way he binned it off, like, fuck that
It
shit.
should have been.
You know-
It should have been captain.
Ballon
Should have been captain.
Do you know when he done that interview and the way it sounds now and what's happened? Does
Yeah.
it sound like he already knew he was leaving back then?
The club just went to him. It's like, yeah. So when am I getting that captaincy then? And they went, you ain't getting it. They went, you ain't getting that captain's armband.
Does it sound like from that interview, like back then, guys, that he already made his mind up?
I told you. It's all pre-planned. Like,
It looks
even
like
that interview
mine,
was
innit?
pre-planned. Telling you.
Yeah, you want to stay
like-
optimistic,
Telling
innit?
you.
He wants to be known as the greatest right back ever, and he wants to win Ballon d'Or. We all know where that you have to go for that to happen, don't we?
To be fair, the last Ballon d'Or winner did come from the Premier League.
It's only because Vinicius Junior and who's the other guy? Bellingham got broken up in two because they voted either side for Real Madrid and they didn't have enough votes. That's the only reason why.
Guys, do you know what I would have done? This is what I would have done if it was me, yeah? I would have gone, do you know what? I want to win the Ballon d'Or, but it'll only feel special if I do it at Liverpool Football Club.
Oh,
You didn't say that though.
That's what I would say, because I'm a Liverpool fan through and through. Yeah, and I'm not saying Trent ain't.
to his defense, look, I also I don't agree with this, but I'm going to give the point anyway. He has said,
I don't agree with him. I'm going to give the point. Go for
no,
it.
I'm going to give. I think this is set for the conversation. He has said in the past many times that I want to be captain of Liverpool Football Club. He has said this in the past, and I don't think it was that long before the interview. So do you think there was a sense of him doing the interview that everyone already knows that I want to be captain of Liverpool? Like, I'm not going to say it again. I don't know. I don't know.
You say it. I'm sorry.
I get what you're saying.
If it's one of your choices,
you say it,
and it means more. Remember, it means more.
Yeah.
You say
look,
it. You say
look,
it. Even she said. What?
I was shocked by it. Yeah, I'm shocked by it.
And she's a Liverpool rep. Like she's
Just
a
yeah.
I think she knew. I think we all knew from that interview.
It's the worst kept.
He wanted to.
She used to be on the Anfield rap, by the way. She used to be on the Anfield rap.
Yeah, she's a salt. I ain't gonna lie.
But
I'm horrible, I know. But to look again, I'm not. If he wants to go to Real Madrid and do all that, fine. I'm cool with it. I think all Liverpool fans would be. Just tell us.
I don't think he's going to be some.
Just tell us. We're not going to sit here and criticise you. He thinks this is bad now. If he gets absolutely bullied as a right back in one game, do you know they came for Mbappe at the beginning of the season? Madrid fans came for Mbappe. They booed Ronaldo.
Someone wrote in the chat before Ronaldo scored 450 goals and they still booed him.
It's just
look, Gareth Bale as well.
Gareth Bale, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, it didn't help himself when he put Wales, golf, and then Real Madrid on the
when Trent drops that stinker and then gets dropped for Freddie Valverde the next game, people are gonna go, well, I hope you enjoy it over there in Madrid because we're not. They're not a 5-year contract. Like he can't put in a United at home performance in Madrid. He'd get hounded out. Imagine Trent put that same performance in a Madrid shirt against Barcelona.
Watch Trent join Man United from Real Madrid.
Oh God!
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? No, Man City,
Oh,
Man
mate.
City, Man City want him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go there."
Sam's got a good question. Would you take him back if he flops?
No, once you go, you go. I don't take anyone back, man.
You ain't coming back. It's why you
I
never
don't
take
get
an
like
ex
if you go, you
Never
go,
take
man.
an ex
If you
back.
go, you
We
go.
don't even go for transfers that say no.
Yeah, I just like if you
Maybe.
leave the football club, you leave the football club, don't you? You just know
Legally.
there's no. Plus,
When
I'm not
was the
making a
last time
transfer.
we actually did that? When was the last time we actually re-signed a player? Was it
Craig
Fowler?
Bellamy,
Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy,
Bellamy.
I think.
Robbie Fowler.
Robbie
Oh,
Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we bought Bellamy twice. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
2011. Was that?
Yeah, and we bought Fowler twice. Yeah, who else we brought back?
But we don't do it often.
Did we get Rush back from Juve?
Yeah, Rush.
Yeah.
18 months later, when
Yeah,
he
he said, hello.
when Rush kept pressing from the centre back option to the like, Rush kept coming back and helping the centre back out, and they were like, "What the fuck you doing? This is Italy. Just stay up there." What are you doing, man?
He still scored shed loads of goals.
Yeah,
for
well,
them
he's
as well.
Rush, ain't he? The most underrated striker I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Ian Rush. No one ever talks about him, by the way, when we talk about British
Monster.
greatest strikers, man.
Monster.
If Trent comes out and says, end of next season when he's at Madrid, I've made the wrong decision. I apologize. You still won't take him back.
Fuck
Nah,
him.
man.
He's made his
No,
bed.
man.
He's made his bed.
That means we have to do a transfer fee for our own player that should have stayed.
Hell no. But like, come back for free.
That
and then
means his brother gets 2 transfer fees.
That's never happening.
no way.
Yeah, can you imagine? They'd be like, nah.
We're
No,
literally going to fund them to buy one of our
Yeah.
players. To buy another one of our players.
No, I will say this before anyone comes at me. I absolutely love Trent. I do. He's a fantastic footballer.
He's been an
Yeah,
incredible
what-
player.
He's an absolute baller.
Hey, and one Trent goes, we'll only have 4 players left from that Champions League team.
Yeah, well, Klopp's players are leaving, ain't
Well, Van Dijk and Salah don't extend well.
they? Yeah.
Well,
I've said already,
Yeah,
Van
yeah.
Dijk, if Van Dijk and Salah don't sign a new contract as well, for me, it's open season on the owners, man. It's literally open season. So.
That's why I am reserving judgments. If they sign and we have a good window and we get, like, 'cause I think we'll spend money, I just don't think it'll be players that we initially rate. That's why I'm going with the caveat. People think we're going to get Isaac and that. I think we'll spend money, but I think people are going to go, what? We're getting this player?
Can you imagine
Oh,
if we? Could you imagine though, if all this has happened, Jen? We're all a bit pissed off and down, looking for ambition, and
then
we
the first
actually
day
do
of
go and
Champions
sign Isaac, and we actually do go and sign Isaac. I'll be like,
Well,
all right,
apparently
cool.
Talk Sports said, yes.
And
So,
Trent,
you know that
and Trent
Alex
gets
Crook
replaced with
from-
Jules Koundé. I'm like,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm all
there you
good.
go.
I'm all good.
Well, Alex Crook, the guy from Talk Sport, he said that Isaac's our top target
He
to
is.
play alongside Salah when
Yeah,
he was
not-
dropping the Trent to
not
Madrid.
When they find out, I don't think he will be our top
I-
top.
Have you-
But
Have
Newcastle
you looked
qualified for that Champions League.
Have you looked at the lip? Have you looked at the lip reading video of Isaac talking to Virgil van Dijk at the end of the cup final?
It was quite a bit huggy buddy, weren't they?
Yep. I'll see you next season, mate.
Yeah, probably in the league.
Mm.
But no, I don't think.
He also said good luck for the rest of the season. I'll
I
see you
just
next
put that-
season.
I
That's what
just
he
put
said.
that in the private chat because I can't mention it live, but I just put it. In the
Oh,
private
okay.
chat.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, you was.
Yeah, you can't say anything, so I can't say anything just yet.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay. Jamie's going global. Okay.
I heard
What,
all
what,
this
on video?
before it.
On video?
No. I had a meeting.
Oh, wow.
Look,
Cool.
know
I
you-
heard, and
Or
you
if
should
it
have heard. You should have heard. I heard so many phone calls and agents and all that talking up there today. It was unreal. So I heard all this before it actually got broke. So yeah, it was crazy. And the Isaac stuff. Yeah, I actually spoke to the guys. Said that today as well. So
Do you think that still happens?
no.
no, I think he either goes to Arsenal. I think he either goes to Arsenal or stays.
That's leaning to that,
One thing I do know as well is that Liverpool might have PCR issues if Trent does go for free.
What? Oh, come on, man. How?
Because he's valued at 100 million quid
And?
and he's going to go for free.
And?
It's something to do with the use. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh, fuck off, man. Are you kidding me?
I hope it's not the fact that we had to pay Jurgen and all his team bloody 50 million to leave.
Got him a severance package.
Hey,
Did he get sacked or something?
What?
Probably.
Does anyone know what happened with that? Why Klopp got paid? Managers that resign don't get a payout.
Yeah, I told you that.
Hey,
didn't I?
Do you think Klopp was sacked?
It's
I
a
think he
weird
paid
one.
Payout.
Like even Paul Joyce that don't know.
Leave at the end of your contract, you don't get a payout.
Yeah, if
Unless-
you resign, you don't
His
get your
contract
contract
hadn't ended. His contract hadn't ended. He still had 2 years left.
Yeah, 2 years left.
Yeah, so
Like-
they paid him it off.
Even Paul Joyce tweeted and said he doesn't know why Klopp and his team got paid. Like hush money, maybe.
Yeah,
Hush money.
maybe he got told, yeah, we'll give you this money, so you
A
don't.
lot of money.
You don't write shit in your book.
That's
Yeah,
a lot of money, by the way. That's a lot of money for hush money. Like,
Oh, I mean, his book could everything. So they're like, Klopp, you're going to write a book one day. We all know this. It's going to happen, yeah. Nothing can come out. So here's your severance, yeah. I don't want to hear a thing. I don't want to think a goodwill payment. That's exactly just said. Yeah, that's mad. Look, the striker I want is Julian Alvarez. I've always said that. That's the guy I want. That's the guy I want. Liverpool show ambition. That's the word, ain't it? Go and get me Julian Alvarez, man.
I think we're going to end up with Ekatike from Frankfurt. I think that's what we're going to end up signing.
I think it's a year too soon for him.
That's why it's a Liverpool transfer.
He needs to spread his wings
not
on
for
his
the
own
money
after
that I'm
Mamisha's
losing.
gone.
60, 70 million. But guys, I'm gonna have to shoot off.
Yeah, we'll get
I'm out of here as well.
All
All right, guys.
Sarah, Jamie, I'll see you
Right,
later.
Let me say goodbye to everyone. We can all go at the same time.
Okay.
Right, guys. Yeah, we're going to leave it there because we have been going to 2 hours. You guys, there's been over 500 in the chat the whole show, so I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you go and follow these guys on their socials and on their channels.
Actually, I'll put my my link in
Yeah,
the chat.
put it in.
I did a show earlier, so you can go and watch that if you want, guys.
There you go. Luke, you can do the same if you want. Sarah, you do the same.
Luke, hello, F Madrid. And I said that I was relaxed with them going for ages. So
No, I'm relaxed in going. No, okay, say this is one final thing, guys. I don't mind Trent leaving the football club and going to Real Madrid. I really don't mind. Players leave all the time. If he wants to go,
I don't like how it's happened. I don't mind him going.
that's
how
it.
it
I just don't like the way it's happened. That's all it is. But if he wants to go Real Madrid, good luck to him. I'll watch his games and I hope he does really well.
Nothing personal. Business.
It's just, I just don't like the way it's happened. That's all, guys. So
Luke,
yeah, don't
LOL.
attack me. Don't attack me.
You had to pay him 20 million because Edwards was coming back.
But yeah, go and subscribe to.
That's my other channel. Like,
Okay, this is Universal Portfolio. There you go. Go and subscribe to Luke. Go and subscribe to Matt Sarah, and go and subscribe to K Mac as well. The links are there. Just hit the link, guys. It'll open up another tab.
I did a show about 2 hours ago, so go and check it out.
I mean, Sarah's just uploaded a video. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There you go. And
lots for you to check
Not one
out.
I wanted to make though.
No, exactly. So, guys, go and check all them out. We're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Goodbye for now. Or actually, because let's leave on a cheery note, shall we? Hang on. Oh shit, that weren't me. What's this? I don't know what this is. Hang on. Let me get rid of the comment. Oh, beautiful, Harvey. Beautiful. Didn't mean to put that up, or that. These are all accidents.
He's got a gallery already.
Right, let's leave on a tune. See you later.
Harder! Snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the meaning of chivalry. Rap ruler, you can ask Buddha. Right jab.